Love is one of the most powerful forces on earth. It can heal, inspire, and transform a life. But just as real love has the power to elevate you, fake love has the power to destroy you. The tragedy is that fake love often comes dressed in the same clothing as real love. It speaks in sweet words, it acts with charm in the beginning, it makes promises that sound beautiful, but beneath the surface it is hollow. Many people spend years of their lives chasing something that looks like love, but never truly is. They give and give, hoping that what they receive will one day match their efforts, only to end up drained, broken, and doubting their worth. Fake love is the thief of time, the destroyer of peace, and the enemy of growth. And the more you chase it, the more it costs you. The first cost of fake love is your energy. Love is supposed to replenish, not exhaust. When someone truly loves you, their presence feels like a safe space, a place where you can rest and recharge. But fake love does the opposite. It keeps you in a constant state of anxiety and confusion. You find yourself questioning where you stand, wondering if you're enough, worrying whether they'll stay or leave. That kind of uncertainty eats away at your mind like poison. You lose sleep, you lose focus, you lose joy, and the longer you stay in fake love, the more energy you give to someone who is not willing to give the same in return. It becomes a one-sided exchange where you pour everything you have into a bottomless cup that never fills. Another cost of fake love is your time. Time is the one resource you will never get back, and fake love wastes it without mercy. You may spend months, even years, hoping someone will change, waiting for them to finally see your worth, trying to convince them to love you the way you deserve. But while you're waiting, life is passing. Opportunities are slipping away. Growth is being delayed. Every day spent chasing fake love is a day stolen from your future. It is a day you could have invested in yourself, in your dreams, in building a life of true fulfillment. The saddest part is that once you finally realize it was fake, you cannot recover the years that were lost. All you can do is learn from them and promise yourself not to waste any more. Fake love also costs you your identity. When you are desperate to hold on to something that isn't real, you start bending and twisting yourself to fit what the other person wants. You sacrifice your values, your dreams, your personality, just to be accepted. You silence your voice when you should speak. You tolerate disrespect when you should walk away. You accept less when you know you deserve more. And slowly, piece by piece, you lose sight of who you really are. That is one of the greatest tragedies of fake love. It convinces you that you are not enough as you are. But real love never requires you to become less of yourself. It celebrates who you are and helps you grow into even more. If you are constantly shrinking just to keep someone close, then what you're chasing is not love but control. Another heavy cost of fake love is your peace of mind. Peace is one of the most valuable treasures in life. Without peace, success feels empty, wealth feels meaningless, and achievements feel incomplete. Fake love robs you of peace because it thrives on chaos. One moment you're reassured, the next moment you're doubting again. One day they're kind, the next day they're cold. This inconsistency keeps your heart in turmoil. You find yourself analyzing every word, every action, every silence, searching for answers that never come. That constant tension is exhausting, and over time it erodes your mental health. Real love gives peace even in difficult times, but fake love creates storms even when the skies should be clear. Perhaps the most painful cost of fake love is your self-worth. When you keep chasing someone who doesn't truly value you, you start to internalize their lack of love as a reflection of your worth. You begin to believe that maybe you're not attractive enough, not successful enough, not lovable enough. Their indifference makes you doubt yourself. Their neglect makes you question your value. But the truth is, their inability to love you has nothing to do with your worth. It has everything to do with their limitations. Fake love damages your self-esteem because it constantly reminds you that you're giving your all and receiving only fragments in return. Over time, you begin to normalize mistreatment, accepting it as if it's all you deserve. But that's the trap. Once you lower your standards for fake love, you set a pattern that repeats until you break it. Fake love doesn't just affect your heart, it affects your future. It keeps you tied to people who are not meant for you, blocking the path to those who are. Imagine trying to run a race while holding someone's hand who is pulling you backward. No matter how fast you try to move, their weight slows you down. Fake love is that weight. It ties you to the past, keeps you in cycles of pain, and prevents you from stepping into the kind of love that could actually help you grow. And the longer you chase it, the longer you delay your own destiny. The right person cannot reach you if the wrong one is still occupying your space. Fake love also teaches dangerous habits. It teaches you to confuse attention with affection, obsession with passion, manipulation with care. It conditions you to believe that love is supposed to hurt, that it's supposed to leave you restless, that it's supposed to make you chase, but that is a lie. Real love doesn't require you to sacrifice your dignity. Real love doesn't demand you to prove your worth over and over again. Real love doesn't vanish when things get tough. Fake love trains you to expect less, but real love lifts you higher. And if you are not careful, fake love can rewire your definition of love so deeply that when the real thing finally comes, you don't even recognize it. Another cost is emotional exhaustion. Fake love is like running a marathon on an empty stomach. You keep pushing, hoping for some kind of reward at the finish line, but all it does is leave you drained and depleted. You give so much of your heart, but the return is so little that you begin to feel empty inside. Emotional exhaustion doesn't just affect your relationships. It spills into every area of your life. Your work suffers, your health suffers, your dreams suffer. You find yourself too tired to give energy to the things that matter because you've wasted it all on someone who was never invested in you. Fake love also robs you of joy. In the beginning, it might feel exciting, even intoxicating. The highs are high, but the lows are devastating. You find yourself riding an emotional roller coaster that leaves you dizzy and unstable. Real love brings joy even in simplicity, even in the quiet moments. Fake love brings drama, and drama steals joy. It makes you anxious about the future, regretful about the past, and unsettled in the present. You cannot experience true joy while holding on to fake love, because fake love thrives on keeping you in a state of uncertainty and need. The truth about fake love is that it demands everything but gives almost nothing in return. It takes your time, your energy, your identity, your peace, your self-worth, and your joy. And when it finally leaves, it leaves you with nothing but scars and regrets. But the lesson is this: scars can heal, and regrets can be transformed into wisdom. Once you recognize the true cost of fake love, you will never chase it again. You will begin to see that your heart is too valuable to waste on someone who doesn't know how to treasure it. You will begin to understand that love should never feel like begging, proving, or chasing. Love should feel like being seen, respected, and valued. When you chase fake love, you are trading diamonds for dust. You are giving away the best of yourself for the illusion of something that was never real. But when you stop chasing, when you step back and reclaim your energy, your time, and your self-worth, you begin to build the life you are meant to have. And the love you deserve will find its way to you not because you chased it, but because you became strong enough to stop running after what was fake. There comes a point in life where you must ask yourself a powerful question. If I truly loved myself, would I still be chasing the kind of love that hurts me? This is where everything changes, because the root cause of why so many people settle for fake love is not because real love is impossible to find, but because they haven't yet built a deep and unshakable love for themselves. Self-love is not arrogance, it is not selfishness, it is survival. It is the foundation upon which all healthy relationships are built. Without it, you are constantly searching for validation outside of yourself, constantly seeking approval from people who don't value you, constantly trying to fill a void with the attention of others. But with it, you realize that you are already whole, already enough, already worthy of love, whether or not anyone else gives it to you. The truth is, fake love thrives where self-love is absent. When you don't love yourself enough, you tolerate behavior you should never accept. You excuse lies, overlook red flags, and convince yourself that crumbs are a feast. You begin to believe that mistreatment is normal, that inconsistency is passion, and that pain is proof of love. But that is an illusion created by a lack of self-worth. The day you truly love yourself, you stop entertaining people who can't love you properly. You stop chasing what is fake because you realize your value cannot be measured by someone else's inability to treat you right. Self-love begins with self-respect. It is knowing what you will and will not allow in your life. When you respect yourself, you create standards, you draw boundaries, you protect your heart not because you are cold, but because you are wise. People who lack self-love often confuse boundaries with fear, but boundaries are actually a sign of strength. They say, "This is what I deserve, and I will not accept less." Without self-love, boundaries feel impossible because you're so afraid of losing someone that you allow them to walk all over you. With self-love, you understand that losing someone who doesn't value you is not really a loss at all. It is a gain of peace, dignity, and freedom. Another part of self-love is learning to enjoy your own company. Many chase fake love because they are terrified of being alone. They jump from relationship to relationship, accepting anyone who offers even a little attention, because the silence of solitude feels unbearable. But when you learn to love yourself, you stop fearing loneliness. You start to enjoy spending time with yourself, investing in your own growth, nurturing your own dreams. You begin to realize that solitude is not emptiness, but space to heal, space to grow, space to discover who you are without the noise of someone else's influence. And when you are no longer afraid of being alone, you stop settling for relationships that don't serve you. Self-love also transforms the way you talk to yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is with the voice inside your head. If that voice constantly criticizes, belittles, and doubts you, you will always look for someone else to give you validation. You will cling to fake love because you crave any voice outside of you that says you're worthy, even if it's temporary and shallow. But when you practice self-love, you change that inner dialogue. You begin speaking to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and compassion. You remind yourself of your strengths instead of focusing only on your flaws. You build yourself up instead of tearing yourself down, and when your inner world is filled with love, you stop needing fake love from the outside to feel whole. There is also a discipline to self-love. It is not just about saying nice things to yourself. It is about making choices that align with your value. It is about eating in a way that fuels your body, working in a way that honors your dreams, resting in a way that restores your soul. It is about saying no when you need to, walking away when it's necessary, and not betraying yourself just to please others. Fake love thrives in the lives of people who betray themselves daily just to hold on to relationships that are not real. But self-love refuses to betray itself. It chooses discomfort in the short term rather than destruction in the long term. It knows that walking away may hurt now, but staying in what is fake will cost far more later. One of the most powerful aspects of self-love is that it teaches you to stop begging. Begging for love is one of the most humiliating things a human can endure, yet so many do it without realizing. They beg through their actions, overcompensating, overgiving, overpleasing. They beg through their silence, tolerating disrespect, ignoring red flags, accepting lies. They beg through their words, pleading for someone to change, to stay, to finally give the love they promised. But when you love yourself, begging is no longer an option. You understand that love is either given freely or it is not love at all. You stop trying to convince anyone to choose you because you have already chosen yourself. And once you choose yourself, you attract relationships where love flows naturally without force or pleading. Self-love also changes the way you handle rejection. Many fear rejection so much that they cling to fake love just to avoid it. They think that being in a toxic relationship is better than being alone, that at least having someone, even if they're not genuine, is better than being unwanted. But self-love teaches you that rejection is not the end, it is redirection. It shows you that when someone rejects you, it is not proof of your unworthiness, but proof of their inability to see your value. You stop taking rejection personally and start viewing it as protection. You realize that closed doors often lead to better ones, and you no longer settle for being tolerated when you could be celebrated. The most beautiful thing about self-love is that it makes you magnetic. People can feel when you value yourself. They can sense when you walk with dignity, when you refuse to settle, when you carry yourself with confidence. Fake love may still approach you, but it cannot stay because it knows it has no place in your life. Self-love filters out what is fake and attracts what is real. When you love yourself, you radiate an energy that demands respect without you even saying a word. You teach others how to treat you by the way you treat yourself, and people either rise to your standard or remove themselves from your presence. Self-love also helps you heal the wounds that made you accept fake love in the first place. Many people tolerate unhealthy relationships because they are trying to fix old wounds through new connections. They think that if they can just make this person love them, it will heal the pain of abandonment, rejection, or neglect they faced in the past. But fake love only deepens those wounds. Self-love, however, goes directly to the source. It acknowledges your pain, validates your struggles, and gives you the compassion you may never have received from others. It allows you to rewrite your story, not as someone who is broken and unworthy, but as someone who is resilient, whole, and deserving of true love. There is a freedom in self-love that fake love can never give you. Fake love keeps you trapped in cycles of dependency, always needing someone else to make you feel complete. Self-love sets you free because you no longer need anyone to validate your existence. You desire love, yes, but you do not depend on it for survival. You can walk away from what does not serve you without fear, because you know that your happiness is not in the hands of another. That freedom is priceless, and it is only born from truly loving yourself. Think about it: every time you chase fake love, you are telling yourself that you are not enough without it. But every time you choose self-love, you are declaring to the world that you are already enough. This shift is life-changing. It changes the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you live. It makes you more resilient, more confident, more at peace. And when fake love tries to disguise itself and knock on your door, you recognize it instantly and refuse to let it in. So many people ask, how do I stop falling into the same patterns? How do I stop attracting fake love? The answer is not to search harder for the right person, but to become the right person for yourself first. The moment you start treating yourself with the love, respect, and care you desire from others, your entire world begins to shift. You no longer chase, you no longer beg, you no longer settle. You begin to attract what you are instead of what you fear. And in that space, fake love cannot survive. There is something incredibly powerful about the moment you decide to walk away from what is not serving you. For so long, many people cling to relationships that drain them because they are afraid of letting go. They believe that staying, no matter how painful, is better than leaving and facing the unknown. They hold on tightly to what is familiar, even if that familiarity is built on lies, betrayal, or inconsistency. But here is the truth: you cannot step into the love you deserve while your hands are still full of what is hurting you. Walking away is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate declaration of self-worth. It is saying to yourself, I may not know what the future holds, but I know that this is not love, and I refuse to keep pretending it is. Walking away creates space. It clears out the illusions, the noise, the manipulation, and the chaos that fake love brings. When you stay in relationships that are toxic or unfulfilling, your heart has no room to welcome the real, healthy, and nurturing love that could be waiting for you. It's like holding on to broken pieces of glass. As long as you grip them tightly, you bleed. But the moment you let go, you give your hands the chance to heal and be ready for something whole. Yet letting go is one of the hardest things to do, not because you don't see the truth, but because love blinds, memories trap, and fear paralyzes. You fear loneliness, you fear regret, you fear that maybe you won't find anything better. But walking away is a courageous act of faith that says, I trust that something better exists, and I will not block it by staying stuck here. The problem with fake love is that it gives you just enough to keep you there, but never enough to truly fulfill you. It comes in waves, one day overflowing with promises and passion, the next day disappearing into silence or indifference. It is unpredictable, inconsistent, and unstable. And because of that, it keeps you addicted, always chasing the high of its good moments while ignoring the damage of its bad ones. But real love is not meant to be a gamble, and your heart is not a casino where someone plays with your emotions. Walking away is the only way to break that cycle of false hope and false security. Many people ask, but what if they change? This question keeps more people trapped in unhealthy relationships than anything else. The belief that maybe one day, if you just love them harder, they will finally see your worth. But love is not supposed to be a project where you sacrifice your happiness in hopes of one day getting rewarded with change. If someone cannot see your value when you are giving them your heart, your loyalty, your patience, then they will not magically wake up one day and suddenly treat you with the respect you deserve. Change is not something you can force into someone else. It is something they must choose for themselves. And while you wait, you waste time, you waste energy, and you waste your chance at finding something real. Walking away is choosing not to gamble your life on a maybe. That rarely ever comes true. The beauty of walking away is that it teaches you strength you didn't know you had. It shows you that you are capable of surviving without what you thought you needed. The first steps may feel unbearable, the silence feels heavy, the memories come back to haunt you, and the temptation to return is strong. But every day you stay away, you become stronger. Every day you resist going back, you remind yourself that your peace is worth more than temporary comfort. And over time, the pain fades, the scars heal, and what felt like the end becomes the beginning of something new. You begin to look back and wonder why you held on so long, why you gave so much energy to someone who never truly gave it back. And in that moment, you realize that walking away was not the end of love, but the doorway to discovering the kind of love that never requires you to sacrifice yourself. Walking away also sets a standard for how you expect to be treated. When you stay in situations where you are disrespected, undervalued, or unloved, you are silently teaching yourself that this is all you are worthy of. But the moment you leave, you send a powerful message not just to others, but to yourself that you refuse to settle. That you would rather be alone in peace than accompanied in pain. And when you raise that standard, you start attracting relationships that align with it. People who see your value and respect your boundaries are drawn to you, while those who cannot meet your standards naturally fall away. It is as if walking away acts as a filter, removing what is unworthy and leaving space only for what is real. Another truth is that walking away gives clarity. When you are inside a toxic or fake relationship, it is hard to see clearly because emotions cloud judgment. You excuse behavior you should never tolerate, you justify actions that have no justification, and you convince yourself that love should feel like this. But the moment you step away, the fog begins to lift. You start seeing the patterns for what they really were, the lies for what they truly meant, and the pain for what it was, a lesson, not love. That distance helps you heal, helps you grow, and helps you prepare for something better. Without that clarity, you risk repeating the same mistakes again and again. Walking away also teaches patience. In a world where everyone wants instant gratification, many people rush into relationships just to avoid being alone. They chase after love without realizing that love is not something to chase, it is something to grow, something to nurture, something to receive freely. When you walk away, you give yourself the chance to slow down, to reflect, to learn who you are and what you really want. You stop settling for anyone who offers temporary attention and start waiting for someone who offers genuine intention. And that patience ensures that the next time you love wisely. It is important to understand that walking away is not just a physical act, it is an emotional one. Many people leave but never truly let go. They move on in body but not in mind, carrying the pain, the anger, and the longing into every new relationship. But true walking away means releasing, forgiving, and moving forward with a heart that is open to love again. It means not letting the wounds of the past dictate the possibilities of the future. It means refusing to let fake love poison your belief in real love. And that is the hardest part, because pain often lingers even when people are gone. But healing comes when you decide not to let the past control your tomorrow. Walking away also creates strength in identity. Too often, people lose themselves in relationships, molding themselves to fit into someone else's expectations, changing their dreams, compromising their values. They wake up one day and realize they don't even know who they are anymore. Walking away gives you the opportunity to rediscover yourself, your passions, your dreams, your values, your joy. It allows you to rebuild your life on your own terms and not around someone else's validation. And when you stand firm in who you are, you become unshakable. You no longer fear being left because you know you will never leave yourself. And perhaps the greatest gift of walking away is hope, because it proves that endings are not failures but new beginnings. It shows you that you have the courage to close chapters that no longer serve you, even if you don't know what the next chapter holds. And in that courage, you create the possibility of a love that is patient, kind, and true. You create the possibility of finding someone who doesn't just say they love you, but shows it consistently through their actions. You create the possibility of building a partnership where you don't have to beg to be seen, where your worth is not questioned, where your heart is not played with. The truth is, walking away is hard, but staying in fake love is harder in the long run. It drains your energy, it steals your years, it damages your spirit. But once you walk away, you open yourself up to the love that is real. A love that doesn't confuse you, doesn't break you, doesn't abandon you. A love that doesn't require chasing, because it chooses you freely, fully, and without conditions.